The U.S. president ramped up the commercial crusade against China, issuing a new set of tariffs on almost 6,000 items, ranging from garlic to steel. Washington's new 10% duty will be implemented from September 24. And from 2019 the tariffs will be raised to 25%, unless the two governments agree on a trade deal. Announcing the move on Monday night, Mr. Trump said, "For months, we have urged China to change these unfair practices, and give fair and reciprocal treatment to American companies. We have been very clear about the type of changes that need to be made, and we have given China every opportunity to treat us more fairly. We have been very clear about the type of changes that need to be made, and we have given China every opportunity to treat us more fairly. But, so far, China has been unwilling to change its practices." Donald Trump. But, so far, China has been unwilling to change its practices. "I urge China's leaders to take swift action to end their country's unfair trade practices. Hopefully, this trade situation will be resolved, in the end, by myself and President Xi of China, for whom I have great respect and affection." But the Chinese Commerce Ministry already said this move leaves Beijing with no choice but to retaliate, despite not yet disclosing how. However, China is unlikely to slap a 10% tariff on £150 billion $200 billion of U.S. goods, as it buys approximately £99 billion $130 billion worth of items every year. Donald Trump issued new tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. Image, Getty. Feng Xinghai, a senior Chinese regulator, voiced the possibility the new tariff will poison the trade talks. He said, "President Trump is a hard-hitting businessman, and he tries to put pressure on China so he can get concessions from our negotiations. I think that kind of tactic is not going to work with China." According to an analysis by Bloomberg, the new tariffs will have an impact on Beijing, eroding 0.5 percentage point off China's 2018 GDP growth. However, with a Chinese economy growing at 6.5% a year, the analysts believe the country will be able to absorb the hit. China buys approximately $130 billion worth of items from the U.S. every year. Image, Getty. Mr. Trump signed the first order applying tariffs on £38 billion of Chinese goods on March 22. Image, Getty. The announcement was on the same day of the unofficial Chinese National Humiliation Day, commemorating the events that preceded the Japanese invasion of northeastern China in 1931, which turned Manchuria into Tokyo's satellite city. The invasion came after a blast on a railway line owned by Japan, caused by a small quantity of dynamite put there by the Japanese army. After blaming the Chinese for the bomb, Japan used the staged attack as a pretext for a full-scale invasion of Manchuria. Mr. Trump signed the first order applying tariffs on $38 billion $50 billion on Chinese goods on March 22. Donald Trump warned China not to retaliate against U.S. farmers or industry. Image, Getty. 3 months later, he released a new list of $24 billion $34 billion of Chinese goods to face at 25% tariffs, implemented in August. And yesterday's announcement may be followed by a new list of levied Chinese goods. Mr. Trump told China any retaliatory act against U.S. farmers or industry will trigger Phase 3. He said, "If China takes retaliatory action against our farmers or other industries, we will immediately pursue Phase 3, which is tariffs on approximately $267 billion of additional imports."